Yo, yo, what's going on? What's poppin'? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So, I wanted to do this video because, I get emails all the time and I get guys that hit me up and they're like, man, Mr. Locario, it's all about getting a lot of money so you could get chicks, or you got to look the best, or you got to have, a high status and this and this and that. And if you don't have that, it's going to be hard for you to get women. And, the guys who have the looks and who have all this stuff have it easier than the other guys and all this other stuff, right? Now, what you have to understand is that when you subscribe to that sort of thinking, right, that's basically showing that you have low self-esteem, right? So you have that low self-esteem game. So your strategy to, getting women and attracting women is based off of your low self-esteem. So what happens is that you do things and you interact with women and you try to make things happen with women in a way that displays that you have low self-esteem. Now, the thing is, sometimes the women can tell, sometimes they can't. Sometimes you can tell, and sometimes you can't even tell that you are doing shit that displays you have low self-esteem. So, the main thing that lets you know if you have low self-esteem, or your game is based off of you having low self-esteem, is that you're mainly looking for everything outside of yourself in order to attract women. Okay? You're looking for everything outside of yourself to attract women. So if you think you need like a fancy car, if you think you need a lot of money, if you think you need high status, we can even go as far as to say if you think that you need to be the best looking dude, that means you have low self-esteem game. Okay, because you think you need all of this extra shit that's outside of you in order to get women. Now you're probably saying, come on, son, that's bullshit, man. It's like, how is it that, the looks thing, it's, if a chick, she's not going to even, give you the time of day if she doesn't think you look good. She's not even going to want to talk to you and yada, 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 and all this other craziness, right? And it's funny because I hear this all the time. I read, comments, on my videos. I read comments on other people's videos and stuff. And, I look at message boards and, I see all of this stuff talking about this craziness. And again, if you think you need to be the best looking dude, right? That means you have low self-esteem, and you have that low self-esteem game, because this is the thing. Someone being physically attracted to you is their perception. So that means that is outside of you. So you can have one girl who thinks you're physically attractive, and then you can have another girl who thinks you're not physically attractive. You can have 10 or 15 people who think you're physically attractive, because you're like, oh, well, a good majority of people are going to think this guy is attractive. Okay, you have, 10 or 15 people that think he's attractive or whatever, right? Then you're going to have 9 or 10 people who don't think he's attractive. So the thing is, it's all coming from their, perspective and their perception of that person. So if this guy is, trying to coast just based off of his looks, that's low self-esteem game. Because the thing is that all of these different things that we're talking about with your looks, your money, all that other shit, all of that can change. You understand? So since all of those things can change, and you're relying just on those things, that means you're not relying on what's inside of you. You're not relying on yourself, because you think you need all this other extra shit. But the thing is, if all that changes, what happens now? You understand what happens when it comes to you trying to get women? If you're at a certain status and you're trying to use that, let's say you're working at some big company or something, and next you get fired. You're not at that same status. Let's say you're talking about money. Let's say you're not making as much money as you were before. And let's say, like, this is why I be talking about when dudes talk about, just getting prostitutes and, I'm just going to pay for pussy and all this other stuff. What happens if you get into a situation where you can't pay for pussy anymore? What are you going to do? What's going to happen if if the situation arises where you don't look the same as you used to? Because your looks can change. You understand? Even like, let's say, for example, when you were 13, you understand, you look different than how you look now, right? If you're, 23 or 33 or whatever it is, you look different than when you were 13, but you're still the same person. You're still that guy. You're still you. But that look has changed. So even if, let's say, when you were 23, and let's say now you're 43 or whatever, you don't look the same as you were when you were 23. So let's say you were coasting on your looks when you were 23. Now you're 43. You don't look as good, quote unquote, as good, right? Then what do you do now? Because you've been just using that as the thing. Now, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with using those things as a bonus, meaning if you know that you have a good amount of women that's checking you out or giving you some attention because they think you're physically attractive, then yes, use that to your advantage. If you are in a situation where your money and your status has played a factor in you getting some play in certain situations, then that's cool. Use that to your advantage. But if you're using that as the main thing, as your game, as thinking, I need these things in order to get women, and if I don't have these things, I can't get women, you have low self-esteem game. That's your strategy. You need these things in order to make the shit happen. That's what you think. But what you don't understand is that what you really need is you. What's coming from you. See, it's like this. Let's say you have a guy who his dad or something owns some company, and this guy, he never had to work a day in his life because his dad owns the company, and then, he says, his dad says, look, I'll give you a job at my company. You can work there, whatever. So next thing you know, the dad dies. Let's say the company goes out of business. There's no more money left or whatever. Now this guy who, had all the shit handed to him has to now go find a job and, make shit happen on his own. Now, since he was never in a position to actually do anything on his own, he don't know what the fuck to do. Versus some other guy who came up from the bottom, grinded, did his thing or whatever. Let's say this guy comes up and he makes money and do all this other shit, right? Now, if this guy loses all his money, he loses his status, right? It doesn't necessarily matter because he has the skill within him to get all of that shit back. Versus the guy whose dad was rich and just gave him everything. This guy doesn't have the skill because he was just like coasting on that situation he had. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just using that as an example to display and to show you that, look, if you're using these things, if you're like, I'm getting chicks because I got this fancy car. Okay, when that car breaks down or somebody steals that car, you can't get chicks no more. I'm getting chicks because I got money. Okay, when you don't have any money, you can't get chicks no more. Right? You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that if it's not coming from you, if it's not coming from yourself, right, you have low self-esteem game. That's what you have to understand. And the thing is that, this is what it really boils down to. Truthfully, what happens is a lot of guys, they are so pussy hungry that they're like, look, I don't give a fuck what I got to do. So they're like, well, look, I'm just going to get this car and this money in order to get a chick, right? Now, in certain cases, if that works for you, then, be my guest and do what you got to do. But you have to understand that your game is dependent on those things. You see what I'm saying? You're not depending on you. You're depending on those things. And the thing is, a lot of times what happens is that when you depend on those things, right, the women that you attract and the women that you deal with are usually dealing with you not because of you, but they're dealing with you because of those things. So when they find another guy who has those things, right, they'll leave you quick fast. Now, see, the thing that makes a woman want to, stay with a dude or keep, fucking with him or to keep shit going with him is who he is. The thing that makes him unique. The thing that makes him the shit. Because she can't find that anywhere else but within him. Right? And see, a lot of guys, they have this thought process of, they're like, oh, well, I don't give a fuck. I just want to have sex with a chick and keep it moving and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, good luck with that. Because what a lot of guys don't understand is this, and this is the funny part that I've noticed just with years of coaching and all this other stuff, right? Most of these guys out here who think that they want to pump and dump, most of these guys out here who think, oh yeah, I just want to fuck a chick and blah, blah, blah. These be the first dudes who be fucking head over heels over some chick they just met. These be the first dudes who want to wife up the first chick that gives them some play. You understand? Or these be the guys who they end up getting with a chick. Maybe they get to the point where they hit it or they almost hit it. And now they're so like caught up emotionally with this chick. And they start to like her because she went from just an idea to an actual person that they, connected with, or that they had some sort of like interesting interaction with, or interesting interactions over, some period of time. Because the thing is, sometimes, when you deal with chicks, you're not going to really get to smash all of them on the first time, the first night or whatever. So you might see a chick, a few times, and then, you might smash or you might not. But then as you're seeing them and you're dealing with them, you start to like them. And you're like, damn, I actually like this girl. I want to see her again. How the fuck do I make that happen? But see, if you have that low self-esteem game, what happens is that a lot of times that, the interactions you have with these women don't last that long because they realize, sooner than later that you wasn't really about shit. You understand? See, all those, outside things and all that other stuff, it can sort of like, in certain situations, get a chick, to pay you some attention here and there. But it doesn't really do anything for the long term. And when I say the long term, we're not talking about, oh, you got to be in a long-term relationship with a girl and be girlfriend and boyfriend and husband and wife and all of that because you're like, oh, fuck that. I just want to smash whatever. I'm talking about in the long term, meaning that what you're going to have to keep doing, is you're going to have to keep your whole thing up, meaning you're going to have to keep getting more money. You're going to have to keep getting better cars. You're going to have to keep getting, your status has to keep going up or whatever, because what you have to understand is that now in this situation, because always talking about there's no competition. In this situation, you are actually kind of competing with another nigga who got a car and who got money and all this other shit, because y'all are both the type of dudes who got low self-esteem. So there's nothing about you that is actually interesting to make a woman want to fuck with you. So all you guys are doing is competing to see who got the best external shit. And then whoever she feels has the best one wins. But see, when it comes to you actually digging deep within who the fuck you are, and she gets a taste of who you actually are, and you actually are confident, you have shit going on, you have a purpose, all these different things that actually draw her into you. Because you got to ask yourself something. Why is it that some guys could have, hardly any money, could be a type of guy who's, most would consider average looking. A guy who, he doesn't have a huge status and all this other shit, right? But this dude has chicks left and right. This dude has, chicks here and there trying to get with him. So why is it that he can do that, but you can't? You see what I'm saying? And so you have a lot of guys who gravitate to this low self-esteem game because what happens is, in their mind, it's easier just to get the car than to work on themselves. It's easier just to, get the money than to work on themselves. It's easier to say, well, you know what? It's all about looks, or it's mostly about looks. And if I don't have the looks, I just got to get the money. So, since I'm not that good looking, let me just get some money and then I'll do this and I'll do that and then I'll get girls or whatever. And it's like, you have to understand that you're always going to be in that low self-esteem game loop. You understand that you're never going to actually be able to understand how it feels to actually attract a woman who's going to be into you, because you're not into you. You understand? Because if you were into you, then you wouldn't feel the need to actually have all of this shit in order to attract the women. Because basically, when you have all those things, what you're saying to yourself and what you're saying to the woman is, I'm not shit. It's like, it reminds me of, and I've seen this happen, and I've heard about this happening a lot, where let's say you have like kids in a kindergarten class or some shit, and one kid says to the other, hey, I'll be your friend if you give me some Skittles. Oh my God. See, this is what's going on in the game right now. You understand? But see, you have to choose what you want to do. Because you can play the low self-esteem game, but just understand what's happening when you're playing that game. All right, so that's about it. And listen, guys, remember, make sure you click the link below, because I have the tickets available to the Truth About the Game seminar, which is coming out April 14th. Make sure you get your tickets now, all right? And I will holler at you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. Now, before you turn off this video, make sure you click the link below to get the Mr. Locario 30-minute game session. Now, this is a private one-on-one coaching session between me and you where we chop up game for a half an hour. So make sure you click that link below to get the Mr. Locario 30-minute game session. Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.